Your turn?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Hi, good evening. Good evening to all our listeners out there. Good night, good morning, wherever you are. My name is Cliff Samlal Singh, and I am here tonight to share the bestest opportunity that I had taken advantage of. I am hoping after I share it with you that you also would have seen why I found it to be so exciting, right? Um, and as I said, my name is Cliff Samlal Singh. I've been involved with this business opportunity for the last 4 years plus. Okay, so now before we get into the presentation, please permit me to share an encounter I had with a friend of mine last week. I've been asking him for several times to pass by, drop by, let's connect for a while. And he would always promise, and then something would come up. So, he had to break the promise. Finally, he came by. He said, listen, Cliff, I could only stop by for about 20 minutes, no more than that. I said, well, no problem. He's more busy than the prime minister. He came through. And you know what? He spent about 4 hours here. And it was something else because he is there talking with me. And we did talk. I mean, he, I always knew him as a guy with constructive ideas, very ambitious. But talking to him now, or when I say now, last week, it was like he was taking it at a different level. And I I was wondering, we were talking about business ideas and some amazing business ideas too. So I was asking him, hey, what, I mean, I know you, I like being around passionate people, ambitious, driven people. I like that. And, because so many times we talk about trying to change things in our lives, and very often the actions that we want to take don't even leave the starting blocks, and there's a disease amongst most of us. Yeah, and that disease has a name too. They name a nation after that disease. In fact, it's the largest nation in the world. You know what's the name of that disease? Procrastination. Yeah, most of us suffer from that. But here he was talking to me and telling me, listen, these ideas, and he jump started some of the ideas, and so it was real exciting listening to him. So I said, listen, what I know of you and know is a different thing. What happened? He said, boy, a chance meeting. One single intervention in my life that took place made this whole dynamic change. What happened is that, as I told you, he has been a constructive thinker. He was never he was never contented with just being with his job. He did things on the sidelines. For instance, he did agriculture. He has been building a couple of apartments or rental. So he has been doing things because he wanted a better life for him and his family. So this particular time, last year, early last year, his relative got sick and he decided to take the relative to the hospital. Whilst waiting on the doctor to attend to the relative, he is there talking to the relative and, trying to lift his spirits. So he's sharing with him this business idea he has. And when the relative gets back on his feet, he and the relative going to be doing this thing together, right? Now, whilst he is talking, there's this elderly white gentleman not too far from them. And he looks over and he says, listen, I couldn't help but overhear what you guys are saying. And he asked them a couple of questions about business and what they wanted to do. And he says, listen, if you like, I am so happy to hear two young black men talking about business. So if you don't mind, I don't mind guiding you, especially with my number of years, in fact, decades of business experience I have. And if you like, I could arrange to meet with you at the Hyatt at some arranged day. So of course, by the time the doctor, he went, his relative went to the doctor, the guy, whoever it is, they went to the doctor. They arranged a day, but they were skeptical. But they said they have nothing to lose. And they went down to the Hyatt nevertheless. They got there early, thinking, all right, let's see how this is going to play out. Whilst they're there, they see the guy pulls up with his vehicle. As he comes out, the valet, the doorman, the person by the reception area, the bartenders, all of them know him by name. Well, needless to say, the guy, that one meeting led to this white person being a mentor to my partner who came by him. And everything he tells this guy to do, he does it without question. And he is saying, Cliff, that one moment changed my life. So when I told him, I said, some people say lucky. He said, that is not luck. That is just a definition of one moment where preparation met opportunity. So I understood what he said. You know why? Because when I got into this opportunity 4 years ago, I didn't know what I was getting into. Now I look back and I say, wow, some people might say I am lucky. And you know something? 10 years from now, if the creator allows me the good health to be here, they will say I'm super, super lucky. It's not that. It's just I decided to seize the opportunity. So guys, one moment could change everything. So let's get into our presentation, please. All right. But before I get into my presentation, I must first share my disclaimer. All right. And my disclaimer, it would say, by the way, this picture you all are seeing is when I was in Vietnam last year because of the same business opportunity, for those of you who don't know. Right. Hadn't been traveling, but got to Vietnam because of this opportunity. So my disclaimer is the information contained herein and dispensed is not designed to be a source of financial information, nor should it be construed as such. One Life is not an investment company. That is the company I'm going to speak about later. The images and videos in this presentation are the property of their respective owners. So I'm just borrowing a couple of videos here in my presentation to endorse my points. For those of you who have heard me do presentations in the past would know that I would use a couple of videos to endorse my point. Well, I am going to share with you one of my very favorite videos. I'm begging you guys, please listen to it. It's about 12 minutes long, but it is done so simply and it is such easy listening. And I think, listen, the discussion is awesome. Take a listen to it, please, as we jump right into it.
People try to argue and say that it is a conspiracy theory when you are talking about David Rockefeller, when you're talking about the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. This is actual fact. There's no theoretical anything behind it. They met off the coast of Jekyll Island of Georgia. They met off the coast on a small island. You're talking about David Rockefeller and some other individuals to come up with a way where they could take control over the monetary policies of America. The Federal Reserve has nothing to do with the United States Constitution. It states in the United States Constitution that Congress shall hold the right to print the money and so forth and so on. But who is the Federal Reserve? They have nothing to do with America. They are a gangster group, a third party who came in and they took over these banking systems from Europe, and then they gradually moved into the rest of the planet. By the time they got to America, that's when 1913 came along with the passing of the Federal Reserve Act. And once that happened, all of the power to print money, coin money, etc., turned over into the Federal Reserve and no longer Congress. It used to say a silver certificate at the top of the dollar. It said silver certificate, meaning, oh, this is backed by silver. Okay. Or it was backed by gold.
Right.
Okay. But then it switched to Federal Reserve Note. What the hell does that mean? And now the money system is not under the people, it's not under Congress, it's not under our control per se, it's under the control of a third-party gangster group organization that uses it to control and enslave the planet. That's what that is about. Hence why the economy is so high. They use war to make money. But if they use the war to make money, then the dollar goes further into debt, therefore having less worth, higher inflation. So what a dollar's worth today ain't nothing. It's nothing compared to what it was back then.
Yeah.
You know, America currently on Wall Street, they're saying it's a little over $22-23 trillion in debt. Well, no, that's not true. They're not adding in Medicaid, Medi-Cal, all those things, the IOUs that they have for all these other nations. America's over $70 trillion in debt, and it's growing every day. They're printing millions every day, which means you print more, the money becomes less and less and less and less and less valuable. That's why also people need to start looking at gold, hence why gold is so high right now.
Yeah, all-time high this week.
You know what I'm saying? All-time high. Silver is going up, even though some people say, I don't buy silver, but the pre-1933 silver coins in particular, you should be buying, because those are worth about, I think it costs about $23, $25 per coin. So you want to get some of those. Why? Because the dollar, brother, is about to become completely obsolete. It's about to get to a point like it got over in Europe where they were having piles of it in the middle of the street. You know, they was burning, you know, smoking cigars, lighting with the money. I know some of y'all like, man, it ain't gonna happen. Listen, bro, they're talking about this economic gap because of the pandemic. Nearly 40 million people weren't employed just a couple months ago in America. So you're gonna give a stimulus check to 40 million people. You're not gonna give $10 to 40 million people. You see what I'm saying? So you're giving millions, billions, trillions that you don't have to people who are not working, and then you shut it down again, which is why, you know, Trump and everyone else wanted to open it up. They're like, listen, it don't matter if people get sick. Yeah, either we going down economically or we going down physically and health-wise. We got to choose one. So they'd rather open up the economy, let some people get sick and die, but to allow us, the economy, to thrive and survive, because it is upside down. You see what I'm saying? That's what it is. So, but it all started, again, with the national banking families of Europe, and then, of course, pushing for war to make more money, sending people to die, more war, more money, more interest, et cetera, et cetera. And that is what it has been since 1913. Yeah,
it's interesting because a lot of people might not realize, like you said, that the Federal Reserve Bank is not a government agency. No. It's just it's like literally, it's like FedEx. Like, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you would just automatically think it's federal, and they print money, and you just by default you would think, okay, it's part of the government, but it's actually not part of the government at all.
Not at all.
And it's interesting.
Not at all, bro. Anybody who's dealing with economics, I mean, this is the show y'all watch. You know, y'all watch these brothers. They give you the game. They give you as much game as possible. That was possibly some of the most important game they could give you, is to understand the difference between the Federal Reserve and the government when it comes to money, the monetary system. That's why Bitcoin is so important. Some people talk about that. The economists in America will say all kinds of crap because it's not controlled. It's a universal currency. You can't control it. You can transfer it anywhere. So they're like, no, it's bad, because we want y'all to stick with the American dollar. Nah, hell no, player. We know what's going on with that dollar. That dollar's gone. That's done for. Okay, so now you have to look at other forms of currency and be very wise about looking at other currency, investing in other currency, and moving your money around. Really, y'all gotta start pulling your stuff out of the bank in a minute. I ain't trying to go against what y'all. I'm just saying, any thoughts you got on that, you know, you let me know, but be very mindful. Just understand that, you know, don't put all of your money in one location that is controlled by the Federal Reserve or any of its banks.
Yeah, no, you know what? You know what? A, I don't know if people know this, but there's a shortage of coins.
Yeah, that's been all over.
It's interesting. Yeah. And B, the bank thing is interesting because it's like, all right, what's the odds of bank having not enough money until they don't have enough money? Because
people start taking their money.
In Greece a few years ago, they shut the banks down. They made a stop on ATM run because people was trying to. So it's like, theoretically, like if you have $10 million, the bank doesn't have $10 million. That's why they only insure $250,000. So if you go,
we dropped that one. Go ahead.
Like you literally, you literally can't. Yeah, it's the FDIC insured. So you could literally only take up to a certain amount, and then they gotta like actually order because there's regional banks for the Federal Reserve. Like there's Federal Reserve regional banks like St. Louis, New York, LA, like there's different regions. So they have to order the money. And then this is kind of a more involved conversation, but that kind of goes with the interest rates, right? Because they charge the regular retail banks money to actually borrow. So when they lower the interest rates or when they raise the interest rate, it all comes into play.
You're making money off your money.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of the things that was, I mean, a lot of people have said that to us, and hopefully people get the message, but like money is a tool to get assets.
Absolutely.
Right? It's having it sitting in the bank doesn't mean anything. I know like Fernando had told us that, and it stuck in my mind when you just said that. It was like, yo, every dollar is a worker to me. So I got to put that money to work.
You gotta put it to work.
You have to, and let it make money for you. You know, that's where the investments and the assets come in. Own something that builds in its value, increases in its worth. That's what we have to look at. Again, most of the people in the hood, y'all like, look, I got $40, bro, for the next week. Okay, I'm being real. Okay,
That's a
like,
fact.
$40, $50 for the
That's
next
a
week.
fact.
What can I do with this? That's why we have to now pull our resources. We don't have a choice, bro. We have to practice group economics. There is no choice here. There's none. Most of the people in the hood don't have $200 to their family. And I know it may sound crazy for some people. It's like, no, seriously.
That's a fact.
Even the money that we do have, we're spending it in the wrong direction. But we have to now look at, okay, what can we afford to put in a pot, depending on what block we're on, depending on what hood we from. The hoods, y'all got to come together and start putting money in the pot, whatever crib hood, blood hood, essays, whatever, and start putting your dollars together so everyone can work a little and no one have to work a lot, and then you can start buying up things.
You know, it's crazy. I feel like we're the only people that have to be convinced about group economics, because everything else, because like I went to this Indian wedding, a friend of mine's Indian, is my first time going to an Indian wedding. So it's a whole week experience if you ever been to an Indian wedding. It's like, and he was Sikh, so they had like a it was like a whole thing. So the long story short is like when he lives in New Jersey, like that's where like the whole town is all Sikhs, and they have an interesting thing where they own like motels. They own like 100 motels, and yeah, and then like he was explaining to me the process. So it's like one person from India comes, they buy a hotel, then they send enough money for the next person to come, and then they work in the hotel. They learn the business of the hotel, and then the other people give them money to start their hotel. When they get enough money, they pay it back, and then it's like a whole thing that they just run it back again. So I see that in other cultures, and it's just like, it's interesting to me because that's group economics.
That's group economics.
But for us, it's still something that we kind of have to really be convinced and understand. So how do we get away from that mindset and really move into make it normal, like make group economics normal?
One, it has to be promoted, and it has to be talked about more by those of us that practice it in a positive way. We gotta brag about that. Like, yeah, bro, I put my family on. Like I said this way, this book was edited. It was written by me, black man, then it was edited by black woman. Then my product manager, black woman, which is my sister. Then her two sons, they are employed as the packagers. So we employed them. Then I have my mother, and I have, I think, two cousins who also work for me. I employ my own family. You know what I'm saying? Black women for the majority, but black people, period. That's it. I said, I'm not about to employ nobody else. I'm employing my family. I'm going to free y'all up so that we can invest in each other, and then we can go ahead and build on something else. And we are building on something else now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's how it's supposed to be. I'm not playing no games out here. There's a lot of black people and families who are doing this.
There's great pride in that.
Come on, bro. And see, I'm going to say it again. We're doing that right now. And we have to be, you know, we don't trust each other, bro.
Yeah. And we can stimulate each other's economy, even with us. Yeah. Like, so they see me and Troy as the host of Earn Your Leisure, but it's more than us. So we have Mike, who does all of our technical stuff. We all grew up together. Another one of our friends, Jamal, he just left, but he's the head of our marketing. So then Mike's brother is like, he edits, because I write, but I'm not the best with grammar. So he's our editor for our writing. And then his other brother actually edits our videos. He DJs our live events. So it's like, why would we pay somebody else? We can stimulate we all come from the same neighborhood. Exactly. So now we're stimulating each other's economy, and ultimately it's only going to come back to all of us anyway and make all of us stronger, as opposed to trying to, you know, work with this person and that person. And it's like before you know it, like you don't even understand what's going on. And I feel like people will take more pride, and they'll go the extra mile, because now it actually makes sense, where it's like his brother's going to work harder for him because he wants him to be successful. Like, it's not just a random person who you just outsource, and it's like, I'll get to it when I can get to it.
Man, I'll say two things. First of all, we as the people have to be willing to work. That's like, we got to be real about this. This is what the accountability is.
That's a big fact. That's a big one.
Man. Yeah. If I put you on, be on. Don't give me a bad name. I'm doing my best to keep this thing afloat. Don't come in like, man, what a bag. I'm trying to get the bag. You can't get, there's plenty of bags. You're talking like it's only one bag. It's a fact. Like, no, you got to keep adding to you. Okay, we're going to give you a bag. It's going to be empty at first. Yeah. You're going to add to it. I'm going to switch my rappers. We talking, man. I'm tripping. Yeah. No, you're going to add to it. And us as a people, we are the bag. That's what we got to get through. We are the value. It's the value. We have to add to that. So we add to that piece.
Guys, this video brought out so many big points. In fact, I thought that they were looking at our business model I'll itemize some of these salient points that came out of this. But you would see at point 7, we had the 7-minute mark. They spoke about forming a community and operating group economics. This is what I want to talk about tonight. They spoke about after freeing yourself and setting the example, after you free yourself, go and free another person. That is what we do here. That is why we have in this presentation, because we are trying to reach persons who want to raise their hand up and say, listen, I am fed up and distressed and I want out of this situation. I want a change in my life. So we there trying to reach out to help free another person. And they say stimulate each other's economy within a common larger economy. I can't say enough about the points that were brought out in this video. Well, this company that I'm talking about, whom I proudly wish to endorse, is One Life. They are about 6 years old. Yep, they're 6 years old, bang on right as we talk. I have been associated with the company a little more than 4 years, and we are into the realm of cryptocurrency. This company recognized all what these people were saying there in that video. We saw they had anticipated where the US dollar is going to be falling in value, and not only falling, plummeted in value, but not only the US dollar, other countries also. Why? Because of the model of the central bank or Federal Reserve System connected to the commercial banks. Based on that system that they have there and how it operates, it leads to a fall in value in money. I'm not going to go back through the same points that the video made, right? I just wanted to understand it is not only Cliff Sam Lansing who sees it. So the video brought out a number of points which we had endorsed since 6 years back, right? We looked at the very first cryptocurrency, which came out 12 years ago in Bitcoin. Many of you may not, who here for the first time, may not know much about cryptocurrency, but may have heard about the Bitcoin. Well, when it first came out, it came out to serve as one purpose. And the purpose of Bitcoin back then was to be used as a trusted and tradable commodity within a specific community of users. That was it. It was to be used for trade. But over time, that has changed in that more and more persons forget about the aspect of trading. So Bitcoin is not big into trading. People more speculate on where its value would go, so they just buy and sell it, right? And play it as if you're on the stock exchange. So the same Bitcoin, because people didn't understand its purpose back then, 12 years ago, people knew nothing really much about it. So it traded for it was about 10 cents in value. 12 years later, that same Bitcoin at 10 cents is now traded at over 10,000 US dollars, the same 10 cents item. So that's Bitcoin, but Bitcoin comes with a whole number of challenges. But despite the criticisms that it had received and the lack of understanding in the early years, a number of persons realized just what the video has said, that listen, we need to move away from this cash system. We see a lot of problems coming with it. So they got into trying to understand a little bit about cryptocurrency. In fact, you have almost 6,000 different cryptocurrencies since that time, since Bitcoin came out. Yes, you heard me right. There are almost 6,000 different cryptocurrencies out there because of Bitcoin. However, one came out and to make a big difference. That one is the company called One Life, as I said. And my company says, you know something? Most of the 6,000 cryptocurrencies out there, people don't even have an understanding about cryptocurrency. All they know is that, hey, the world is moving away from cash to the cryptocurrency era. Countries are now starting to talk more and more about it. So let's get involved, but they still don't understand it. Well, we decided to make a difference, and we decided to get into providing education to every single person who is willing to subscribe to that education. So we provide education in finance, forex, law, and even blockchain operations, which is the hub of activity behind the cryptocurrency that we talk about. In fact, we are the largest online university of crypto education provided. You heard me right. We are the largest online university of crypto education. Wow. We sell different kinds of packages, guys. We have packages ranging from a starter package, include all kinds of packages. That the starter package starts at 140 euros or 1400 TT, and we go all the way up to way past 14,000 euros, which would be like the New Life and the New Life Plus packages. I'm telling you this because we have several packages based on your budget, based on your how badly you want to break away from this present system so that your life could be changed. We have a package there to fit your need. All right. We even provide education free of charge once you get involved with us. So for the children, because we understand that is where the future lies. That is, if they understand the proper concept, then the world would have some kind of say in the future. In fact, some of the financial education that we're going to be providing for the children is like they're going to be able to discuss the history of money, making the money go around, where's our money stored, finance market supply and demand. No, these are economic discussions, but imagine you training a child from the age of 6 years old to grasp this so that when they reach 12, 13, the nonsense that you see the people come up and talk on the television and feed your figures in the budget and so on, children go to start to say, wait, that just don't make sense. Because we are training you and training the children so that they can have a say. My company, One Life, isn't just about changing minds now. We are looking for a group of people who want to embrace this vision. So far, in our 6 years, we have amassed about 3.7 million persons throughout around the globe. And within that 3.7 million persons who have purchased packages so that they could buy into the understanding of what we provide, they also have about 130,000 merchants, which is what we're going to get into just now. But understand something. When you buy a package, despite whatever size package it is, each package comes with something called free promotional tokens. The package is education. That is to help um, shape your mind, understand a number of things that they have been feeding us in the past. Does not make sense. It does not work. It ran us into problems. So we are showing you now the new education as to the cryptocurrency, but not going to get too in depth into that. Just want you to know, besides the education, any package that you decide to come on board with is going to have free promotional tokens. You are going to take those tokens, and upon your request, the company is going to convert that to coins. All right? We're not going to discuss the process. What is more important, though, is not the process of the conversion by the company. You're going to see how that works when you come on board. What is more important is that in addition to the education, the resultant coins that you get from the conversion tokens have value. Yes, you heard me right. They have value because they can be used. In fact, our coins from the inception when they were introduced in January 2015, they came out at a half of a euro and they had a steady appreciation in value until right now, the value is over 42 euros. So it climbed from half of a euro to over 42 euros. And it has been done through a controlled fashion, reflecting the confidence level of the community of 3.7 million account holders that we have. So the value that you see there, 42, 43, reflects the usage of the coin. It reflects the interest that persons have had in coming on board and buying packages to help identify their deficiencies in the past so that they can start to improve on that and that their lives can change. You know, guys, we have a point where the value has been increasing substantially between 2015 and 2020, whilst we are using paper money with the value substantially falling, not every year, but virtually every month. So to me, it just makes sense to take out some paper money where the value has been falling every month and just take a look at an asset whereby the value has been steadily climbing and the proof is there. But don't just take my word for it. Let me show you why. We have an online trading platform, which is called the Deal Shaker. In fact, I refer to this Deal Shaker as an amplified version of anything that is out there. You give me Amazon or eBay, any online trade platform that they have there, and I tell you my Deal Shaker is an amplified version of that. It is more magnanimous. Why? Because of the variety of items that we offer. Some of the things you will not find on Amazon and those places. This is a sampling of some of our merchants where we had, before the coronavirus, we would have a monthly meeting of a physical meeting of merchants and consumers. And they come together and be using our very coins to purchase these items. Well, as I said, these are some other items, right? This is just a sampling. Could you get a haircut through Amazon, right? Could you get, this is, you'll see 3 sets of furniture on top. This is pictures of chairs that actually purchased with coins that are located in our Macoya office. Yes. And could you buy barbecue um, grilled chicken also with your coins? Yes, we have that. I was able, you see a plane there, I personally was able to take my coins and get a training lesson as a pilot of that plane using my coins. You see next where a spa was done, my wife was able to go there and get a spa done with the coins. And we go on and on, a whole number of things, right? We have ornamentals, if you like. Imagine you're getting a 18 karat white gold with emeralds, green, the nice high cut emeralds, and you're getting that discounted with coins. Listen, guys, are going on. When I returned from Vietnam last year, this is some alligator skin handbags that I bought back from my wife. You'll notice the labels there. Why? She's so proud to know how these alligator skin texture has stood up after all this time, the gloss on it, that she never removed the, the label. She's so proud of it. That is a label I bought, a belt I brought back. Guys, need I remind you, I paid for it with coins. But guess what? I went to Vietnam and used my coins, which I had in Trinidad, right across there. Imagine if I had my Trinidad and Tobago dollars. You think in Vietnam they would have accepted that? You're mad? What? They accepted my coins at the same value because it is a shared value throughout the community, right? These are some things that my wife was able to buy with coins from one of our lovely merchants that we have there, right? Some fruits we were able to get we purchase every week or sometimes every 2 weeks, depending, from one of our merchants with coins during the COVID lockdown. We didn't have to go to the market. Our merchant, who is on the platform, provided that, accepting our coins. I know of one of our IMAs, one of our brothers here. He was able to purchase a property in Suriname using his coins. Tell me where in Amazon they advertising a house that you could buy in Amazon now. In my platform, you're getting houses. I was able to purchase a piece of land in Sangre Grande. It's shaded yellow there. That is my parcel of land, which I was able to use with my coins. You all understanding now that my coins are value. Okay? So this is a picture where about almost 2 months ago, less than 2 months ago, these 3 distinguished people were at the forefront of an international and global deal shaker alliance, whereby they were able to tap into merchants from about 60 various countries. And for over 12 continuous hours, they were showcasing from Trinidad and Tobago they were tapping into various merchants of the 60 different countries so that the merchants got a chance to showcase their products. Because remember, we're in a lockdown. Prior to the lockdown, we would be able to travel to those various countries and go physically. Now we can't do that, so we have to do it virtually. And these three people right here from Trinidad and Tobago, um, it would be terrible for me not to say that the broadest smile with the yellow jacket is my wife's, all right? And these people were able to tap into these different global merchants. That is how big we are. We are global because my coins have value. The deal shaker makes it possible for my coins, which is called ones, to be the most usable cryptocurrency in the world. That is what we set up for, to be the #1 cryptocurrency. We provided the education, which is the understanding. Now we provided the coins, which has value, through a platform, which is the vehicle by which trading can be done. We have the complete package. What am I hearing you guys saying? It reminds us something what the people said in the video. Yes, guys, it's group economics. That is what this thing is about. So our mission, the company's mission, is these things. But what I could just highlight any one of these areas. And I love the part #2 where it said, aim to increase the quality of life of, and you see instead of members, all I saw is it aims to increase the quality of life of Cliff Samlal Singh. It aims to increase the quality of life of Kelvin Karabai. It aims to increase the quality of life of Edwin Wilson. And I could go on and on. That is all I saw. I saw a company who was thinking about me and saying, listen, get on board. You're going to see how we're going to make dramatic changes in your life. I've seen it over the last 4 years, and I'm seeing where it would blow past in another couple of years again. That is just one of the aspects. But this here is our blueprint of group economics. This here is our ecosystem. This here is what the guy in the video was talking about, whereby as a community, we come together and we trade by improving each person's economic situation within a larger group of economics. So by virtue of that, each individual who is participating in this group economics or this ecosystem does not have to work ridiculously hard. We just working a little, giving a little to helping the many. Each of us giving a little to helping the many. And boy, it pays back. It pays back. Well,
I want to tell y'all a story before I wrap this up. It's a story about a father and a daughter. They were coming home from a revival one night, and the father let the daughter drive home. She was his assistant, if you will. And while she was driving home, a bad storm broke out. And the daughter, being a new driver, she got a little bit scared. She looked over at her father. She said, "Daddy, you think I should pull over?" And the father said, "No, baby. Just keep on driving." So she kept on driving. But then the storm got worse. She looked over at her father. She was scared. She said, "Daddy, are you sure? You sure you don't want me to pull over?" The daddy said, No, baby. Just keep on driving." But the storm, it got so bad that the daughter could barely see an inch in front of her face. Other cars started pulling over in the storm. Even 18-wheelers started pulling over in the storm. She looked over at her dad, and she was in fear. And the dad said, "Just keep on driving." And then eventually, they made it through the storm. And the daddy said, "Okay, baby, now pull over." So she pulls over the car. She has a grin on her face, and she looks at her dad and says, "Okay, Daddy, I know why you wanted me to pull over now." He said, "Why is that, baby?" She said, "You want me to thank God for bringing us through the storm." He smiled back and said, "Yeah, baby, that's it. But there's another lesson that you got to learn here. She said, I don't understand. He said, get out of the car. I'll show you. So they get out of the car. He says, turn around and look back. Tell me what you see. She said, I see the storm. He said, no, baby, that's not all you see. Tell me what else you see. She said, I don't get it, Daddy. He said, baby, where are all of the cars that pulled over in the storm? Where's the 18-wheeler that pulled over in the storm? She said, they're still in the storm. He said, that's it, baby. That's the lesson that I want you to learn. You see, when you pull over, you make the storm last longer. But if you just keep on going and keep moving ahead and keep believing that it's possible and keep your hope and keep your faith, then you will make it through your storm. Thank you. That's my time.
Guys, I want to thank you for taking time to listen. But that video should remind many of us that we have our storms that we're going through. Persons who are hearing this for the first time, the majority of us would have financial storms. And then in a couple of days' time, next week, Monday, you're going to be reminded just how bad your financial storm is when the budget is being read. What you're going to do, like every other past budget, just throw up your hands up in the air and say, hey, whatever happens, happens. Whatever it is the government does, well, I have to flow with it. Guys, here is an opportunity for you to take charge of your life. Don't do like the vehicles and just pull over during the storm. Don't just take no action. Don't be part of that large nation I told you about called procrastination. We're guilty of that. Guys, they talk about the COVID virus. That is a more deadly virus than COVID because so many persons who have fallen prey to procrastination carry their dreams to the grave with them. All the potential go to the graves. You have an opportunity after this presentation tonight to take a look at what we have. Don't just go and research and jump to the first comments that you read out there. There are a number of haters out there who don't like what we're trying to put out. There are a number of persons who said, listen, hey, this is not how things should be done. Well, guess what? We purposely decided to do it differently from 6 years ago. We are purposely structured in a way so that when government regulations come around on cryptocurrency, we can raise our hands and say, hey, count us. We are poised for that. So anytime you're looking, anytime any government wants a de facto cryptocurrency to fall back on as usage in their country, we are poised and ready to take up that role. That is why we are structured like that. But a number of persons don't like that, right? They like the anonymity of being in cryptocurrency. With us, you come on board, you cannot engage in illegal activities with your coins because your coins can be traced. If anybody steals or hacks into your account, it can be accounted for. We can track them because of the measures that you have taken when you come on board. We are different to other cryptocurrencies. But more than that, we have a vision as to where we want to go, how large we want to grow our community, how many merchants we want to have on board. 130,000 merchants and 3.7 million members is not nearly enough as to where we want to go. Just imagine, you come on board tonight, the value of the coin is still at 42 euros. And you come on board in a year from now, whatever the value goes to, or 3 years from now, whatever the value goes to at that time, guess what? Whatever the value of this coin goes to, I could guarantee you, your paper money would have fallen drastically in value. Wouldn't even be able to correct the measure or to reflect the measure by which we would have increased. You heard it in the video. Guys, I beg you, take a look at our presentation. Come on board. let's hold hands and let's move together. I want to thank you for listening to me with this presentation. Now, that's the formal part of the presentation. We are going to do things a little differently tonight in that we have a couple of announcements. So normally we would invite some persons to give a little testimony of what their experience has been like in the business, but we're going to do it differently. So we have a couple of announcements and I'm going to handle the announcements. So today's date is the 30th of September, 2020. I remember 30th of September, 2016, that is 4 years ago. I would have been in the business then. What? I joined in July, July, August, September, 2 months at that time. But that day would stand up in my memory in the history of this business. You know why? The company had some promotions running at that time with packages. And you know people are ready. I told you about procrastination. So people are by nature very last minute if they have to act. So the promotions were running. And on the 30th of September, 2016, 4 years ago, people all over the world were rushing to capitalize on this promotion in buying packages. Well, what happened is that you had over €1 billion hitting the company's account at one of the banks. Because of the vast volume of transactions that took place on that one single day, the 30th of September 2016, the bank system crashed. Yeah, we crashed the bank system. But that's just to tell you the kind of excitement we had back then. I'm sorry to have to say that a number of those persons who got their accounts back then, what they have done is that they pat themselves on the shoulder and say, hey, you know, I did a good job. I got on board in a beautiful opportunity. And you know something? I will rock back now and let others do the work and build up the value of the coin. And you know me, they're doing the work and I will reap the benefits. But this is not the original intention of group economics. Remember, each person has a role to play. But I would say sadly, but whether you do your work or not, once you are in this program, you have bought your package, you have coins, whether you do nothing, the value of your coins will still reflect the same value as mine, who is willing to go out there and talk to persons, share the message, right? So we want now to be able to get back to that time whereby we don't want persons to be just rocking back and saying, let the others do the work. We want more and more persons to get on board and participate in the activities that we get involved in. All right. So now is the time where we say all hands on deck. It can't be where just a few persons are doing a lot of the work while a number of others are rocking back. Right. So we want to do things a little differently to what we have been doing. So due to the COVID restrictions for the last 4 months, we have had nightly presentations for the last 4 months. So we want to know, starting October, which is tomorrow, because tomorrow is the 1st of October, we want to reduce the number of official presentations that we would have per week. What we have had is presentations reflecting the same presentation I shared with you, with what we do. And we have also had the education arm of the business, our OneAcademy aspect, whereby they come on and for a couple of nights in the week, they try to share the education that we have and talk beyond just the presentation which we provide, but we get into hardcore education. We want to have that. So for 2 days in the week, for the month of October, coming up from this October, from tomorrow, for 2 days in a week, on a Monday and a Thursday night, it is going to be covered with presentation and education. All right. Now, Would we only have 2 days in the week to share our attention to this business? No. All I'm saying is 2 nights will be given specifically for the presentation and for education. We are going to have other nights, however, outside of the Monday and Thursday night, where we want to start doing some training. So a number of persons have come into our system, but they have not been fully trained as to what we are about and how we move forward, because we have been so involved in sharing our presentation that we may have forgotten about getting into the nuts and bolts and the nooks and crannies of the business and start training persons so that they can now be a better respondent when they go out there with the education. So we are going to be talking about training persons who come on board here. Of course, you can train to do presentations, training in understanding our business, a whole number of aspects. Training and understanding the deal shaker platform as a merchant, what you can do, how to navigate through our directory, a number of aspects. But you're going to have to stay plugged in to your chats to find out what days those items are going to be discussed. So for now, I can tell you Mondays and Thursdays are our official days, right? So we're going to be having that. One thing we have also noticed is that a number of persons who have been introduced to the presentations, we seem to have forgotten to go and check back up on them. So we have not been following up with these persons. So the persons may have some questions, or the persons have seen the presentation, and persons who introduce guys to the presentation probably expect they will contact the presenter or somebody to answer questions. But remember, you are the one who introduced your person to this room to hear the presentation. So why they may be hearing it from me or the other presenters, we don't know who your guests are. So we are saying now we want to back off from the number of days to start giving persons the time to go back and start doing some work with the persons who they invited, because after all, at the end of it, this is our people's business. All right. And we want you to maintain that personal contact. I mean, of course, given the restrictions that we have, but we want you to maintain that contact. So I believe we have been falling short there, right? We also have some targets set because we want to run on a 90-day program. We're running a 90-day program starting tomorrow. That will take us to the end of December, the 90-day program. A number of you would be aware of us attempting to go to Dubai early next year. And the targets we're looking to achieve to be able to go to Dubai next year. Again, once things are looking more favorable. In the meantime, we have work to do to reach persons and to share with persons. I'm saying share with persons because it is time a number of our newer persons who came on board into this program feel confident enough to take the education that we have and go out there and talk to persons. And not only talk to persons, but when persons come to tell them that they're willing to defend the system of cash money as it is, because this cryptocurrency don't make no sense. This cryptocurrency is not something that you could hold. According to a man who told me, I want cash that I could smell. Well, this cryptocurrency, you can't smell it. But guess what? Whether you want to only hold it or smell it, the world is heading in another direction. Whether you don't understand it, nor where you are, the world is not going to wait for you to understand it. This is why we are begging persons, reach out there to them, get them here, or better than that, you now take the message to them, right? Why? Because you are their friend. When they hear that coming from you, it becomes so much more credible because they never knew you to be talking like that. But it is time now you feel confident enough to go out there and meet those persons. So again, this is why the training programs are going to be very important. In our 90-day run, we are going to be doing a lot of activity to try to get to the targets we want. If we are on course with our activity, at the end of November, which is 2 months from now, I am invigilating our Blue Diamond leader, Mr. King James, to those persons who have engaged and achieved the certain amount of business activity to have a paid weekend expense, all expense paid weekend at one of our merchants resorts in Grand Riviere. Oh yes, guys, in case you didn't know, we have a merchant who has a resort on the beach. It's a beautiful resort. I've been there, right? I've been there a couple of weeks back. It's beautiful. Either there, or we could even, if not there for whatever reason, we could look to stay at the clubhouse in Las Lomas. Real nice place, pool, that kind of thing. Of course, we're talking about once the restrictions are adjusted. All right. But there's work for us to do. There are people's lives for us to save. And we cannot be sitting down on our hands and keeping quiet anymore. All right. We can't be just waiting for persons to come here. We had to start, each of us had to start going out there and carrying the message. So those are the announcements we had to make, that I wanted to make. We'll be back here tomorrow evening because that's the 1st of October. And as I said, every Monday and Thursday is our official days. Stay plugged into your chats to find out other days when we are going to be having different events in the week. All right. For now, I ask you all to be safe. Please, for those newcomers who are here, I hope you all have problems sleeping, deliberating on this decision, not on if to get involved. That is not what you're deliberating on. You are deliberating on just what size package you're going to get involved with. All right. Talk to the person who got you on board here to reach to this point. Talk to them, have a heart to them. All right. And we look forward to seeing you guys here. Tomorrow night, I ask all of you here to come back and bring someone special, because you don't want success to be for you alone. And when those who you cared for, when you look back and you realize where they are and where you have gone to, you would like to know somebody was willing to hold somebody's hand and bring them along. So guys, see you back here tomorrow evening. We'll have another presenter. Take care. Have an awesome night. Thank you and have a great night. Take care.